Trustee Teeter?
Here.
Trustee Johnson?
Here.
Trustee Hudson?
Here. Okay. Do you see any additions or corrections to the agenda?
No, I don't.
Okay. All right. Approval of minutes. From 8/4/2026 with the corrections that he's making.
I make a motion we approve them.
I second it.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes of August 4th. All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, for the meeting, special meeting on August 15th, 2024. Any objections or corrections to that?
No.
Okay, do I hear a motion to accept it?
Motion to accept.
Motion second it.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes from the 15th. Okay, all in favor say aye.
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 Okay. So, yeah, we need to do that, do we? Okay. All right, fiscal officer report, approval of bills.
We had a payment to the U.S. Treasury, $1,309.49 for the July withholding, $212.76 to the Treasurer of State for the Ohio State withholding, $9.05 to the illuminating company for electricity at the 1080 house, $82.53 for electric for Winship, $140.22 for electric for this building, and $385.37 to the illuminating company for the streetlights. $70.46 for the gas service to Winship, $70.46 to the gas service for this building, and $50.26 for the gas service for the 1080 house. $299.74 for Windstream for phone and internet. $89.17 to Hometown Auto Parts. Bill had bought a Napa grease cart, chain lube, air fresheners, and rather distressingly, Peak de-icer. $211.41 to Orwell Oil Company to fill the tanks up out back. $1,956.90 to Northeast Land Management to fix the tractor, for total payments of $4,887.82.
Okay,
I make a motion to pay the bills.
I second it.
all right, it's been moved and seconded. Pay the bills, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
No receipts, but for correspondence, I always give you grief on this. I actually got a mailer for it.
Okay.
They're only like 40, 50 bucks for the smaller ones, just in case you wanted to go that route for that kind of thing.
Okay.
We had an audit from workers' comp, and it says it on here, at post-pandemic, they're finally getting around to reevaluating what people's roles are, because they're thinking they're not sitting at their desk all the time. So all three of you have been moved to kind of a higher tier of workers' comp coverage. I stayed at the cheap tier, so I think we pay, sorry. Yeah, I think we pay, was it $80 a month or something like that, so it'll probably go up. Well, it'll most definitely go up, I just don't know by how much now. Okay. Do you want to go over the folder right now? Or do you want to do that?
Let's hold it off to down the line.
Okay. So for resolutions, the first one I have, because of the way they do property taxes and evaluate the stuff now, you have to pass a resolution basically verifying that you're okay with the budget numbers that I submitted back in June, if you can remember that long ago. So this is resolution 2026-09 to accept the tax budget for next year. There's not really anything to debate on this, but I have to have it in by.
Okay, we just need a motion.
Yeah, I need someone to
Okay, move.
move. Yeah, and actually, it doesn't have a second. This is a mess, but
We can write it down.
yeah, exactly. Okay, anyway.
Okay, does anybody,
I make a motion to pass it. Approve it.
I'll second it.
okay, it's been moved and seconded. You wanna do your roll call?
That is here. Trustee Teeter,
Yes.
Trustee Johnson,
Yes.
Trustee Hudson.
Yes.
Let's see if there's I think this is like the voting one. There's not a signature block on this one. Nope, just signature block for me and Scott, so that's it.
Okay.
Next one is 2026-10, the wind resolution.
And guys,
You want to do it now?
comments on it?
The comments were, I think we, should, pass on, voting on the proposed resolutions because of, the upcoming events of the, windmills pulling out of Asheville County. So at the present time, we don't really have
We
anything
should
to
still
vote
vote on it, we have to have a resolution. We want a resolution.
on. County commissioners, do you have an input on that?
So I think it's important that you weigh in some way, only because Apex is the one that's currently, soliciting input right now from landowners about a potential wind project. But the map that we would ultimately create after soliciting feedback from all 27 townships will be the map that impacts both wind and solar now and into the future. So that would set a standard for any potential new project that were to come to the county. It would spell out what communities would allow or potentially restrict this type of development. So I think it's important that we not just think about the project that's here today, but we think about what you'd want the future to look like in the community. So, but again, it's up to the trustees. Ultimately, you have a couple resolutions to consider. But we felt, as a Board of County Commissioners, it was really important to empower the townships. You are the level of government closest to the people, to gather that input, make an informed decision on what you feel is best for your community. You do deal a lot in land use. Obviously, you have zoning here in Pierpont, so you have those discussions pretty regularly. So we value your input considerably when working on this issue, because should a project like this move forward, where are the calls going to be going? Should a project not move forward, where will the calls be going? You as local trustees are part of that process. So that's why we feel it's important that you certainly weigh in.
But even weighing in that they don't feel that they have enough
Information to even think about
to
it.
really make that decision.
I have a question for you guys. If we say, say we voted right now and we said, no, we do not want it in Pierpont. I've been told a bunch of different things through the people through the county that it still goes up to you guys to make the final decision. We're basically just giving you our input, but you guys can still make your decision if you want it or not want it. Is that true?
So Senate Bill 52, the authority rests with us. But we as a Board of County Commissioners have made it abundantly clear we are echoing the sentiments of our townships. So the resolution that you pass will stand as it relates to what your community wants or does not want. So that is why we're soliciting community, input from all 27 townships.
If we say
We
no,
learned-
then you're gonna back us saying no for our Pierpont Township, then that's what you're saying.
So if you vote to not restrict, then it would be not restricted in Pierpont Township. That's correct.
Ashtabula or Pierpont?
Pierpont Township.
All we
We wanna
have
restrict it.
jurisdiction over is Pierpont Township, that's all we can talk
Okay.
about.
Make it clear, right?
But without a viable project in the works right now, why should we make a decision on something that may be viable in the future that might have better information that we can actually make a decision on?
Well, and that's one thing that we've stressed before. I mean, right now it is a concept. It is conceptual.
Right.
So they would like to see this project move forward, but ultimately they have not secured the acreage to actually make that project feasible. So right now it's a concept. It's all talk. But
And
if a developer is looking to locate a project somewhere, they're going to look to see where it is allowable or not allowable. So ultimately that map would set the standard for what communities would allow it, what communities would not allow it. And I think it's really important to note as well that we're a very large county and the perspectives differ. So Saybrook Township may feel a lot different than Pierpont Township. And kind of a one size fits all, at least in my opinion, I'm not speaking for the whole board here, is really not appropriate. That's why we really felt it was important to empower the townships, gather their input so that we could then take that input and draft that into the map for each respective community throughout the county. And to be clear, we only have say over the unincorporated areas of the county. So while we have 7 villages, 3 cities, ultimately the commissioners have no say over that, only the unincorporated areas of the county. JP, did I miss anything?
No, but two other things I thought were important is, one, and correct me if I'm wrong, Casey, a map can be changed. So if a map is passed and there was something that came along in the future, that doesn't mean that you cannot change your resolution, rescind your resolution, pass a different resolution requesting something different. Of course, under Senate Bill 52, unless there was a change to that type of legislation, it would still then come back to us, but I think to be consistent, it could be a whole nother set of commissioners by that time, who knows? But to your point, why should we make a decision now if something else came along and wanted to change? You can always rescind your resolution and pass a new resolution if the flavor of the township changed from what you decided now to a later time.
Yeah.
So it's not set in stone that it's forever if you make a decision.
And it's also important to note that the map that we ultimately consider and vote on is also not set in stone because it could be subject to referendum. So there could be a citizen effort to gather signatures, put it to a vote on the ballot, and ultimately the voters would decide. So that can't happen until a map is actually passed, according to the statute under Senate Bill 52.
And I think I don't want to try to be from behind the voice here. I think it's also important that process for referendum is really only changing the map. It's not really, you can't.
It's a thumbs up or thumbs down on the map that's adopted.
Yeah, so if there was a referendum, it's not like, well, we're okay with it being in Richmond, we just don't want it in Pierpont. You don't pick and choose, it's just you basically throw the whole map out. So that could have implications as well, because if the whole map disappears, then it kind of goes back to local zoning and there's really no oversight at all. There's no sort of restrictions if the voters voted to remove the map entirely.
It goes to status quo where we stand.
And that vote would be the entire county. It wouldn't just be the unincorporated areas. So I don't anticipate we're going to get to that point, but I mean, I think those are things that are important for people to know about the process.
Yeah. And another point too, I know I've seen some social media comments that Apex has opted to move out of the county. I have not received that call. I don't know if you have received a call from Apex. I've heard rumblings from landowners, directly hearing that from them, that they were contacted, but we did not get that call. So I do want to be clear about that as well, that while those calls are being made, we have not heard definitively they're done. So I just think that's important to, as part of your conversation as well.
And I'll, just say, we're down to 2 trustees, because Pam, opted out because, obvious reasons. We're down to 2 trustees, what if we're at both ends of the opposition?
So I am
We
not.
can't pass a resolution.
Yeah, I'm not your attorney, but I would advise you to speak to your attorney, but as I understand it, you have to have a majority to pass a resolution, so.
Right, so at this point, I don't know how the other trustees feel, but we're not in agreement on passing a resolution at this time.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Have you not heard any of us?
I wanna hear the reason now.
Not my meeting.
Can I ask one question?
It's not comment.
Of course it's
Hold on.
not.
I have a question for you. You saying thumbs up or thumbs down? Say we pick thumbs down. Then your guys are saying you're gonna back the township to back that up, that we do not want them in our town. Or it's just for the map to give them the idea who's game for it and who's not game for it.
So if you pass a resolution saying you want Pierpont to be restricted, Pierpont will be restricted.
100%. If that's what we pass, you're gonna back it.
We have to take a vote for it. but
Yeah,
I think
we still
we've
have
all
the
been
formal
very
process, but-
publicly clear
Yeah.
to state that is our
We have to
intention.
hold a public hearing, we have to post the map, there has to
Like
be
I called people in
consideration.
Columbus and they said
Yeah.
it still comes up to you guys
Correct.
whatever we pass.
Correct.
You guys could decide,
Yeah,
piss on the townships, we want in Ashtabula
Yeah.
County, it's going. For the tax
Yeah.
money, all the other
Right.
stuff, the fees, is that true? It's up to
Yeah,
you
the
guys,
decision
not
rests with
really us.
But we've made it clear, we're basing it based off the feedback from the townships. From the feedback from the townships. So, we wouldn't be going through this process if we're asking each township to pass a resolution, and then, now we're into our own thing. So, that was not the intention of the process.
Okay. So,
Alright.
we can, pick a resolution, I know which one I want. You know which one you want?
Are you wanting to vote?
I vote for, restricting Pierpont from all windows.
I am opposite.
Yes. I understand your
Can you
viewpoint.
explain why?
I didn't, my opinion, just looking at it, everybody in this room worked their whole life for their property. And you have the right to do what you want with it. You paid for it, you worked for it, you slaved for it. Who are us as a township to say what you could make on your property? As long as it's by the state regulations, the code in the township, the zoning, what the state already passed, who are we to tell them that you're not allowed to do that? If it's, you could build your chicken, you can have a junkyard if you go by code, you can do whatever you want. There's farms getting put up in daily, all kind of little business all over
But
town
they're
gets
not
put up.
750 feet in the air.
Yeah,
Six
they're
hundred and
the rest
fifty.
of us
It's a little
have the
different,
right to
It's
do
no
what
different.
they
No
enjoy.
Yeah, it is.
Constant
Flippers
noise,
and-
700
That's
Yeah, none of us
everybody.
want it.
Constant
Everybody wants
noise,
it up to
700 feet
us.
there, It's a little
We're your
different. It's a lot
constituents,
different.
this is what.
Yeah, go ahead.
Here's my comment. Are you supposed to be voting for the residents of
Or for you.
Pierpont? Or
Yeah,
for
I
the-
think that's what you
That's
were
right,
supposed to
it's
be.
not
I'm not
supposed to
trying
be
to be
personal.
critical, but I understand what
You're
you're
supposed to be
saying, but
impartial.
you're supposed to
In your
be,
opinion.
Both.
Yes,
supposed
that's
to
right.
be
I think both.
representing us.
Both.
Have you gotten 50% of people saying they want this?
No way.
No,
There's
not even
no
close.
way.
Not
I
even
get a little
close.
bit of calls saying yes, I get some
You're
calls,
supposed to
I
be
have about 7
representing
calls no,
us.
10 calls
I
yes.
get it, you're sitting right next to someone
But
that
your
only
town wants you to
signs.
say no. Your town is
town
begging
wants
you
you to say
to
no.
say no.
Do you have a vested interest on your property, to want to have this done? Do you have enough property where you are saying, I want this on
No,
my?
I don't have enough.
Okay, do you have somebody that is, that you know of
No,
personally?
I have plenty of friends in Cadence and Pierpont.
So if
do I-
if you had one built right next to your house, you wouldn't have an objection to that?
No problem at all.
I can't control. It's no difference across the street when I bought my house. There used to be a tower there for the army.
I just
What
asked
about
you a
this? There's
question,
no
yes.
difference in
I
that.
just asked you a yes, no question.
I would not bother me.
Of course not.
I have a hard time believing that.
Yeah, I think we all do.
Yeah, no,
You
your
said
town is
it.
supposed to be
You
Not what your opinion
You
is.
said,
It's
said
supposed to
you
be
can't
our
control
opinion.
it, but it's power of the people.
And this is how many meetings in that we have begged you no. How many meetings in?
If you guys
Exactly.
are tied, why can't we cast a
2 for you.
tie-breaking vote as
Because you are gone.
You can put it on the ballot.
Okay.
Put it on ballot.
That's fine, that's what we'll do then.
Yep, that's what you should do.
I hope you enjoyed your time as trustee, Mike.
Hey, it's your opinion.
Yo,
I take it.
I'm sure it's most of ours.
Excuse me, are you threatening Mike, or
I'm
are
not
you
threatening
going
Mike.
to put the issue on the ballot?
The issue needs to go on the ballot.
Because you said
The
two
issue-
different things.
And nobody's gonna be voting for him next go around too, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's my opinion.
That's,
too.
absolutely, just
You
like
gotta
your
remember,
opinion.
I feel the same way about, people's property in Pierpont. You should be able to do with what you wanna do with it.
Mhm.
But from all the input that I've gotten, and I know some folks that do want windmills, it just seems like the majority of the people in Pierpont feel very strongly against it.
Absolutely.
Right.
But there again, I can understand Mike's point of view about people, having their property and doing what they want. A lot of the farmers are getting older and, it's a possible retirement for them. So you gotta look at
A
that.
59-year lease
People
that they're
won't
gonna
want
take
that.
is not retirement. That if they wanted that land and it was so important to them, they'd go buy all the land that's for sale around here. Cause there's plenty they could buy up on their own. Why do they want ours? Why do they want ours? So that we gotta deal with the monstrosities in the air? So that we gotta deal with the shadow flicker and the noise and the oil spreading all over the place, and in 25 years, we get to watch them come down too and go sit in some field somewhere. Green, right?
Okay,
Renewable?
But we have 1 for and 1 against, so nothing's passed.
Yeah, so we have a quandrum, so nothing can pass.
So can we put it on the ballot then and request that?
Ask the county commissioners.
They still have the final
We're trying to
decision.
keep this area safe.
So, I am not an attorney, I wanna be clear about that, not an attorney. But as I understand it, under Senate Bill 52, you ultimately vote yea or nay on the commissioner adopted map. So that's ultimately what you'd have say over. There is not, and I've never served as a township trustee, so I am not sure what your authority is, if you can actually pose a question to your electorate on an issue. I don't know that. I don't know that answer. I don't know if Adam, you know.
I don't think so, no.
Okay, but I don't think so.
I have a question.
Actually, ma'am, we're not taking questions, we're still having a meeting, and we just made the,
Go ahead, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay.
This is
Very
the
good. I'm
moment.
sorry.
Go ahead.
Well, since we have our county commissioners here, I thought maybe they could help me with this.
Yeah, come on down, Dave.
In my
Stick you up here in
opinion,
front,
based
Casey.
on, most of us have done a little research about pros and cons of this whole thing. It's easy to find it online. It's a national and international issue.
Yeah.
My concern is health issues and dangers. And I believe it's gonna pose environmental dangers to the community in terms of how it affects our water and our air quality, not to mention the noise pollution. My concern is how long it will take just to bring in enough concrete to make a platform for one turbine, how much danger that's going to pose to community in terms of children and the freedom that we have in such a quiet community to. What I'm getting to is, can an environmental danger issue be put on a ballot where it's a risk to the community in terms of our health, in terms of our safety, in terms of our noise pollution? Is there something that can be drafted that can be added to a ballot in that direction?
Am I allowed to answer that?
Yeah, well, I'm just gonna say,
Okay.
number one, we have to have our resolution to them by September 1st. We don't have the time to do that. I mean, I don't know how you feel about that.
So we, I think JP's got a comment too. So townships are much like counties, we're creatures of statute. So the only authority we have is what's given expressly to us in the Ohio Revised Code. So you can see in the Ohio Revised Code where it says that commissioners have power to do X number of things. Same goes for township trustees. So I am not aware of that provision where you can ultimately vote on a measure like that. I am not aware of such a thing. But Senate Bill 52 sets out a process as it relates to economically significant and large-scale wind and solar projects. but it seems like it's very clear on what that process is. Ultimately, commissioners have the final say, and then, there could be a referendum on it, the yay or nay based on the map that's adopted. I heard from the landowner meeting that in the early rendition of this legislation, they actually were gonna give each township authority. That ultimately was changed in the legislative process and given just to the county. But if you have been following, you said you've been doing your research throughout the state, several counties have given that authority to the townships for them to weigh in, and then for the county commissioners then base a map based off of the input of the townships. So our method that we're using here is not new, it's not abnormal, it's actually being used in other counties throughout the state.
And I want to touch base on a couple of the comments. First of all, to Pam's, we have until September 1st. September 1st was an arbitrary date we put out to try to give 3 months for this type of opportunity, public input, township trustees meetings, special sessions, many of which have been held in other townships. If it was an issue of needing more time, we can extend time for people to get a resolution in. We just wanted to try to set some sort of a deadline so we could then begin the process of working on a map. So the September 1st deadline is not, oh my gosh, if we don't do something by September 1st, there's nothing we can do.
Right.
I think in all of the presentations that I heard, I was at quite a few, Casey was at a few, Catherine was at numerous presentations where Apex was there. This whole project, if they were to gather enough land for a project, if there was a map that was agreeable to allow them the area that they needed to not be restricted to put a project together, if they then could come forward with an actual project that they could present to the Ohio Power Siting Board, if the map that we adopted didn't go through a referendum process, if there was then an actual project that came to be considered, we again would have an opportunity with public input for public hearings to say this project is approved, this project is not approved. And they said this would be years, 5, 7, 10 years, if it was even able to be approved today before it could happen. There are so many steps that would even need to happen before they even could come forward with a project, and the community would have further input at that time. So
That's important because, let's take some pressure off here. Even if the township ultimately split vote and there was no resolution passed, doesn't mean a windmill's popping up in Pierpont Township tomorrow. I mean, let's be clear about that. So, as JP mentioned, this is an early step in a multi-year process. But ultimately, I'm sure you've been following the Facebook group. There are a number of townships that have voted to restrict. It's unlikely, once that map is passed, that project that's been shopped around would move forward as it stands today.
Good.
So,
At least they
So,
stand up for
quick
us.
question. So, Pierpont doesn't pass a resolution. What happens?
we don't have a resolution from Pierpont, and then we have to take that into consideration, public input into consideration, when we pass a map, when we put a map forth to the public for thumbs up or thumbs down vote, that would either say restricted, partially restricted, or unrestricted.
When is your vote? The county vote?
We won't have a map probably till 2027 sometime.
it's gonna be a couple months at least beyond the September deadline. We gotta make sure we get all the feedback from the townships.
What is the benefit
So-
from this for the county?
Nothing.
But I want to answer one other question. One of the things that will impact the time that it takes is if we have still a lot of townships that haven't responded. No township yet has responded with partial restrictions. Partial restrictions, if we get any of those, will just take a lot more time to develop a map, because we have to put them on GIS, we have to have legal descriptions, we have to make sure that there's no ambiguity as to what areas, how much depth into those parcels.
Yep.
All kinds of things could come into play if there are partial restrictions. So we really need to get the feedback of the townships, and if we don't get responses from the townships, we'll be reaching back out to them to ask, do you just need more time? Do you intend to not pass any resolution at all, so that we're not just waiting and waiting and waiting. If they don't intend to pass a resolution, or they have a split vote and can't pass a resolution, we'll acknowledge that until we have some sort of a commitment or response from all the townships, and then we can begin our work.
This is their meeting, so I didn't wanna.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
go ahead, sir.
Well, sort of a broad question. Say you go unrestricted, totally no, it's everything in Pierpont's unrestricted, they could vote. Are there any public right-of-ways, state, county, or even utility right-of-ways where there would be a path for any of the properties that are currently leased to tie into a grid of some type, whether it's the PGM grid or a substation? Does anyone know that in this county?
I have no idea.
So if they decided to scale back the property, I know Adam says that this is probably not likely and not economically viable, but if they were to scale it back, because they have not done it, but they have tried it in other counties, to drop it below the 50 megawatt threshold, to go between the 5 megawatt and the 49.9, and then they've looked at,
They would still need the Ohio siting board.
that would need a Ohio siting board, correct? But I'm just saying, is there a pathway for them to get to a grid for a tie-in?
Depends on.
I was wondering the same thing, like the leases they're signing, does it allow them just to put up the turbines? Or are they allowed to also then bring in the high voltage power lines for them to tie into?
My understanding, it was its entirety of the project, so it might be a
So
wind
we might have
turbine
some
or
of those
another
big high
piece.
voltage towers all over the place.
Yeah, it was the project in its entirety.
And those are a threat to your health.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Like,
And I think it's important that Adam
Yes,
introduce
acknowledge
Adam
Adam.
Nebudonsky, who has been, he's the president of the board of Township Trustees for the state, or for Asheville County, Asheville Township Trustee Association. So he's been to probably as many, if not more, meetings than we've been to, so, and a lot of township meetings independently.
Building questions and responding to public comment, things like that. This is their meeting, so.
Just real quick for you, I never thought about the cost to our county. What you guys, if somebody's unrestricted, you have to pay to get all the GIS, all the stuff to, didn't you say, well, you still have to run all this, and that's a cost?
We
Isn't that a
work
cost
with the
to
county
our-
auditor, and we have our planning department
We
that
paid
has
them,
the,
though.
Yeah, there's
We're
kind of
paying
resources
them
being utilized to make them
extra
happen.
jobs,
Yeah.
extra work.
Go ahead, sir.
Just, this is probably way out there question. But who's gonna be liable if they have to change waterways?
See, that's why
If they're pouring concrete, they gotta make a
That's-
base for
that's one of
something,
the
and it's wet,
reasons
they're gonna have to move water.
Pierpont was so undecided, because there's not enough information to really make a true decision
Because they weren't true.
at this time. Until a viable project is presented, where should we stand?
I mean, okay, just as an example, behind my house, on her property is a couple of springs. And there's a trench that runs down through there, that's, all the springs run down through there, right down to the bedrock. And every time the farmer plows it, you get stuck, every time, even in August. So when they come in and they try and put a road in there, they're gonna alter that waterway.
Well, divert it somewhere.
They gotta divert it somewhere.
It's going to Pierpont sewer when they reopen it.
So the question is who's gonna be liable for any damages
They say
from
they
the
are unless
movement
they
of
go.
water?
They have to, through the Ohio Siting Board, they have to do environmental studies before they can do any type of project. They have to submit these studies, whether it's noise, whether the shadow flicker studies. They have to present all these studies to the Ohio Siting Board to even keep moving down the path. So there's quite a few checks and balances during this entire process. We're kind of skipping a bunch of the steps, going directly to, hey, the commissioner's got a yes or no.
Okay, but
There's-
while they're coming out here and saying they gotta do this and they gotta do that, are these independent surveyors? Or is
Yes.
it somebody by you guys for us, or is this
No.
somebody that they hire?
Well, I would assume that they have to hire them, but they have to be, again, they have to be third party, and again, state license, they're gonna be checked by the state, because ultimately, the state doesn't want liability if there's a problem, so they're gonna wanna have.
They probably don't wanna lose their license if they falsified that.
Correct.
Hope not, but.
And if I may, one thing that's really important to clarify here, and what we're asking the townships to do is it's not a vote on this project.
Correct.
It's not a vote on this project. It's a vote on whether your community wants to allow this type of development now and into the future. So I think we need to, put the project aside, because there could be another developer that comes knocking in 12 months, 24 months, in 4 years, 5 years on a project. Maybe it's a solar project this time. So that's why we're asking each community to weigh in on what they want for their community. Do you want these windmills in your community? Do you want these solar panels in your community? Let's not be talking about this Apex project. Let's be thinking about that in general. So I guess that's kind of my response of, well, you need more information, but I think we need to put the project aside. We're talking about the elements here. Do you want that in your community? Do you want to welcome that? But that's only on utility scale. We're not even having a conversation about those that are smaller scale, that could be for home use or small little business use. So that's a whole nother discussion as well.
That's how a person should use their
It
property.
should be
Not
privately
to
owned,
abuse
not
everybody
corporate
else's
owned.
property.
I'm still standing where I'm standing.
Thanks, Joe.
I have another question.
Yes.
Like you were saying, basically, it's still gonna come down, you said, for a vote for the public to vote on the ballot, you're saying?
No.
Only if we put it
If
on
they-
the ballot.
They have to gather enough signatures.
Yeah. How many signatures does it take for a township?
8%.
8%.
Oh, Pierpont's small, there's only 2,000 of us out here, we'll get 8%,
So
no
8%
problem.
of the last gubernatorial election.
Excellent.
So you would gather enough sufficient signatures, and then it'd be a vote at the next election, next general election, I think it is. Vote thumbs up or thumbs down on the map that's adopted by the commissioners.
It would be a countywide vote, it wouldn't
Countywide
be a large
vote.
vote.
Absolutely.
But
Does it have to be 8% of the people that actually voted,
Yes.
or 8% of registered voters?
8% of the votes cast.
Votes cast in the
Votes
election.
cast.
The votes cast.
But again, this is a vote on the map.
Right.
So let's hypothetically say the map is red, and you vote to remove it, the map would then be white, you know?
Correct.
So
That
it's
means
not,
It would allow it anywhere in the community.
correct. So it's not, even if they voted yes or no, and
Right.
the rest of the county voted no, and you said, well, we're gonna do a referendum, you're removing the other parts of the county.
Let's take another example for what, feedback we actually have right now. We have 9 resolutions, I think, or
We're actually up to 11.
11 resolutions, 10 of them have said 100% restriction, 1 of them has said no restriction at all. Let's say that all of the rest of the township said full restrictions. And Windsor, who passed a resolution that says no restrictions, and we pass a map that's consistent with what the trustees have presented. I don't think the community wants to go out and say, oh my God, Windsor passed a map that says where they're gonna allow windmills, we want them restricted everywhere, because you're gonna undo what has been put in place for the other townships. So again, that's some degree of local control. We're trying to be respectful of that. It's going to take more information and research, I think, for us on these topics. If we don't get resolutions from communities, we're gonna have a little more work to do on that. But I think, again, right now, we're in a position where there won't be any sort of utility scale wind project in our community if there's 2 townships or 3 townships or probably 4 townships. It just depends on where they're located. They have to have some kind of contiguous path to be able to develop the project and get to the grid.
And there's
So.
no possible way for the people to override the no, his vote, where he wants to allow.
Well, there's nothing to override.
Yeah.
They're not, it's as if they didn't even take a vote. There's nothing for them to pass.
And if there is no resolution passed, do we show up as undecided or unrestricted for the county?
Well, I have an opinion on that, but we as a board have not, formulated the process, the next step on that. But from my perspective, nothing was passed for Pierpont, so therefore it's status quo for Pierpont, from my perspective.
What is status quo?
Unrestricted.
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 Because it kind of falls to their zoning.
Right.
It kind of falls to your local zoning, which is already in place.
But our zoning doesn't matter. It's an energy job.
It doesn't matter in the economically significant or utility scale. Anything less than that.
But it does set a standard for what you are allowing in your community, what you want to have happen in your community.
My thought is, if you put it on the map as unrestricted right off the rip, you're taking everybody's property value and lowering it. Because anybody coming to this community, look for a place to move out here, is gonna look at the map and go, I ain't going to Pierpont, because I don't want that shit.
When we moved out.
Right off the rip, as soon as they do it, and they put it on unrestricted, it's gonna ruin their property values.
And
our taxes just went up.
For farming, you had
Gotta
mentioned
throw that
about
out there.
farming, and my husband's gonna be 60 this year. He has no interest about the wind farm at all. Not only that, if you ever put a wind farm or a solar farm on property that you are currently farming, what's gonna happen is you're gonna sour that land. It can't ever go back.
It even messes with the temperature in the
They're
ground.
gonna make it work. We will not.
You
We have
can't
no
even
interest.
recover it, because even if it got sold to other people, the reclamation process is only at ground level, even if they got rid of the windmills. So the next person who goes to
It
build
goes 3 feet down.
3 feet down. So the next person who goes to excavate that property to build a house on it won't be able to put a basement in there.
Unless they take all that out that they brought in from Michigan at 70 truckloads per.
You already see the problem that we have with that grass that's growing around. That was a big deal for a few years, and now that's a total bust. I mean, you can almost guarantee, I mean, maybe I'll be wrong, but this is gonna be a bad road to go down.
And the roads will be bad for a long time.
So,
Destroyed.
Yeah, and they expect us to farm in that.
let me get this
Right,
right from
can't
the
drive on
commissioner.
roads. Years of
If we give a
construction.
split decision, we can't decide on a resolution, then we become unrestricted?
Yay.
Is that true?
No, we have to have a discussion, we have to take all that input into consideration, and we have to then, at some point in time, pass a map. So I can't tell you what's gonna happen.
So you got red and green on the map, okay? So Pierpont's yellow.
And we can.
You understand what I'm saying?
We can consider it to be restricted, we can consider it to be unrestricted, or we can consider it to be partially restricted.
And that's your guys' decision after.
We would have to evaluate that. We
Everybody
could,
raise their county concern.
I think
Yep.
Mr. Williams made,
All we could get.
I think Mr. Williams made a comment that, well, you've got zoning, just have it approved where there's zoning. I mean, there's a lot of different ways that it could be evaluated. We haven't got to that point, we're waiting till we get feedback from everybody.
And we really need to think about, I restricted myself from the wind. But if we have to make a comment on, we never addressed solar at all.
No.
So,
No.
That either.
and
And
I mean,
that's
I
when the
would
map's
vote
gonna be
on
the same for
that.
solar then.
Well, the resolution, you can delineate in your resolution, but you'll notice in the resolutions you considered, it references both.
Yeah,
So, but you can delineate.
yeah.
Two separate resolutions or different language within the same resolution.
Yeah, you can,
Correct.
yes, correct. Yeah.
I just
We
had
just-
a granddaughter, I gotta go.
Congratulations, that's exciting.
All right, does that answer your questions?
No. So,
I have my
we
opinion
have a
on what.
split decision, so you
Yeah.
guys are gonna make the decision
Yeah.
for us then.
No,
The-
we're
the
gonna
board-
show up as non-restricted.
No,
I mean, the board still has to make that decision.
The board
I
has to
have my
make
own
that
opinion
decision.
on what that would look like, but there's 3 members to the board. So, there's a 3-member board of commissioners, so, we have to work through that process. Since Pierpont Township will not be.
And that could be a split vote, that could be a 2-to-1 vote.
Correct.
Potentially. I mean, who
We
knows?
got 3 trustees, look how that one worked out.
But this is government, this is how government works. This is the process.
One thing that I want to do is I want to number one, split the two, the solar and the wind, because I can vote on the solar, even though we, and I'm sorry we didn't even consider it. So unfortunately, we haven't really discussed with y'all how you would feel about solar. But I would like to live on splitting the solar apart, and I will.
I have a question. If the Apex leases don't come through, do they sell them to a solar developer?
They can.
Okay.
Which
means
that's
why you have to
It is my understanding, after having spoke with 2 of the people from Apex, that we are going to be getting letters telling us that they are null and void. So
How can they do that? They signed a lease.
it's
fighting for it.
They signed a lease with a lot of
in
easy
there
outs.
that
Yeah, for them.
they can withdraw it. So.
Lying, and more lying.
No, there was no line, that was stated clearly. in
Out of
the
these
leases.
these leases are, and poor Pam was sat at her kitchen table with those 2 monsters, and she didn't even have an attorney present. You don't think that's malicious? You don't think that's malicious?
She had the
Excuse
option
me,
to go
but
to an
I'm
attorney.
a college-educated person.
So am I, Pam.
Good
So am I.
for you, start out.
Really?
But so.
It's fine, we'll start a
the
petition.
solar, but I will move that we, don't accept solar. But I'll need a second to that.
I move that we split the resolutions,
Yeah,
and then we make a decision on each resolution.
okay.
But at this time, I don't think we're at the point to make a decision.
Well, I think we can on solar, but that's, unless you aren't comfortable with it.
I stand the same way. I'm not for it, so.
Okay. All right.
You have a question back there?
No.
Oh, all right. I seen you move your hand up, I didn't know.
So,
Yeah.
Mike, you stand the same? So we have a split decision in Pierpont.
Well, on solar, wait, we don't,
Okay, so the commissioner's gonna make the decision for us.
but are you not yes or no on solar?
I don't feel we have the right to tell people what to do when they're trying to create
Okay, but
codes out there.
this is 2-to-1 then.
Mike, have you talked to the people that voted you in? Have you taken the time to go and ask what they feel? Cause you keep saying you don't feel, but you are representing the people that voted you in.
Yes, I've talked to both ways. I have people calling me, texting me in the middle
No,
of the
I
night.
mean actually going out door to
Then I
door
call
knocking
people down in
in your
Columbus,
area.
and they say this was the commissioners to pass it to us, where they're gonna still have the final say and gonna do what they wanna do, those 3 over us. I don't know if that's true, they say it's
But it's
different
very
now.
important what happens here tonight. It's extremely important to the people.
Yes.
That voted for you. What happens here tonight.
we could restrict it, and the commissioners could still say they want it, and they can't say
Everybody else
Let's restrict it to that.
They still have the final say.
You're kind of passing the buck. They've already said they're gonna look hard at what the townships want.
And what everybody also around us wants. We're red everywhere else
And if you
around us.
truly feel that,
Nobody
then make it
wants it.
restricted and
And
it
I
won't
feel it
matter,
should go,
right?
everybody should vote, not just us three, pick it. It should be under ballot, and you guys go, pick what you guys want, just like every
But
other
we don't
election.
have time to get it on the ballot to make it to their first.
We ain't doing the project tomorrow, just like they said, it could
Matter,
take
it's
months.
talked about. This is your
They say they ain't
community.
gonna have the map till 27. The
But you
next,
can
we
tell
can have
us
another
now.
election by then.
You can tell.
Go ahead.
I think what's going on is the commissioners, they've made a solemn promise, they're gonna pass the map that you give them, or that every other township gives them. There's no process in our SB 52 there's a referendum for the whole map, no map. There's no process for each township to vote. It's up to the trustees as far as they're concerned. What they're doing is not in SB 52, but they're making a promise to you as their commissioners that they're gonna do exactly what you say. Because that's why they gave it to you guys, to give you more local control instead of going top down from the county down and tell everybody what to do.
But they said the same thing at the meeting at the Voed school. We say yes or no, the residents still have the chance to file resolution to go back and change what they want other than what we pick. Why don't we leave it up to them to begin with? He's back here saying yes,
Well,
I am correct.
But that's the referendum. But however, it's only on the map that we adopt. It's only on the map that's adopted.
And everybody wants us to be involved.
I feel we should leave it up to the public right now, have a vote. If there's 51% say yes or 50 said no, it is.
All those of us who care here.
You understand it's not allowed to be on the ballot, you can't have that vote that you want?
This is for you to listen to us.
I have a question for you guys. If the majority of the county votes for restricted, then would you vote to restrict Pierpont?
Yeah, he said that.
I mean, if it's a majority, if the majority is restricting, and then you gotta decide.
For the county, he just said they would pick.
We couldn't if it went to referendum and they voted to remove the map, we can't then impose the map. We can't overturn what the voters say because we disagree. Right. But you gotta remember,
It still comes back to
voting,
the voters then,
You're
right?
voting, if the map that we adopted,
county,
75%.
That's what I meant. It's turning restricted so far.
75% of the townships
Windsor.
were.
You guys don't have land here, do you, that you benefit from a turbine on the property?
I have 9 acres.
No, I mean township property.
No.
No, no.
The referendum is.
We just have property over here on Turner Road. It's like, what is that? We can't do nothing with it or build or anything.
Well, no, we can do stuff with
It
it.
has a little park on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you restrict, it can always be turned around if something good comes along. But in the meantime, everybody's property is gonna go
I don't
down.
care about
Or begging
property,
you to
you
restrict
have
it.
to go attention on leaving Pierpont. I grew up in my house, I got property in Richmond. Y'all take the value and turn it down, cause I'll pull some siding off the house and put some more cars in it to lower my value. I have no.
Yeah, I mean,
intention of
everybody should
going
pay lower
nowhere.
taxes as soon as it gets put on.
Ain't going nowhere. Whether this shit
So,
pass or not, lower my value.
I understand about that, but we should get
Lower
on
my
with it.
value at the store too.
I do believe we should get on with our meeting. On resolution for wind power, we have a split decision. That's the way it is. So then it's up to the county commissioners, to see fit. And if you guys have any issues with that, then see the county commissioners, because you know where we stand on it. As far as solar,
Do they have to be, all three on a resolution?
I like to shove it up your ass at the same time.
I don't think so.
No.
Only for,
solar,
property sales.
at this time, I'm gonna say, I'm undecided.
Okay, well, I mean, I would probably say no, because I don't like solar.
Okay.
Like wind.
Like wind and,
What?
That is true.
Yep, same with me.
Ma'am,
I'm not saying anything,
I am looking
Pam.
at this from a scientific point of view. Not, well, what does it look like? Is it,
I'm not looking at it for what it looks like. I'm looking at it for the shadow flicker, what it does to people's circadian rhythms. I'm looking at it about the noise where they can't even sleep, even though you can't hear it, it's still affecting your body. I've done my research too, ma'am.
I put in a bunch of windows in the back of my house. I'd love to look out.
And if they're allowed to bring in high voltage lines to tie into, that becomes a whole other issue. My brother had a brain cancer because he worked for AT&T, and that's what you're bringing to the community.
So we've made our decisions.
Cancer.
So we should move on with the meeting.
okay, so
Oh my gosh, you guys are listening to your people.
then we've got both of them taken care of then?
I believe we do.
Okay.
Do we need motions and ayes?
I can't have anything written up right now, so it'd have to be the next meeting anyway.
So we're abolishing
The
zoning.
resolution,
Oh, yeah, right.
okay, you got it. So it's
There will be new people to vote for.
Okay, so.
all right.
Road department?
Now, we got another resolution that's completely unrelated to all that.
Yeah, okay. So I guess that's it for when?
So,
For tonight.
much more boring. We have 3 cemetery funds that are dormant at the bank. I'd like to close those out and combine them into one fund, one certificate of deposit.
Is that,
That's the resolution. That's what we need to have for the bank. And that
Oh,
card is,
are they-
that card is
they're
the
asking-
lady at the bank who is going
to,
to get with you tomorrow after you pass that resolution tonight to go out there and sign off on what they need.
okay,
We're just taking 3 and putting them into one.
okay.
So the
Did they have them separate for a reason back in the day?
well,
That's when they were,
some of them were old enough that they're in savings accounts that would have actually, this is how far back they go, would have actually accrued interest, like when I was little. So those 2 of those are in like savings accounts that they've probably accrued like a dime worth of interest the entire time they've been here. The other one's a certificate of deposit, which I think to roll that over anyway, it's been dormant for ever. You would need to sign off on that anyway too. The 2 at the bottom, one's 200, or one's 200, one's 300. Neither one of them are big enough by themselves for a CD. That combo one is large enough. That'll put it about $3,000 total. So not, but I think, like I said, Barb Culp, I think, buys the flowers every year for those.
Yeah.
And it's just a couple bucks a year.
yeah.
So it's not, they don't have to accrue that much interest, but if we put it in there, we'll have more than enough to pay for the flowers and interest on it to roll over for that.
I make the motion, we.
Do that?
Combine them all.
Yep,
I'll second it.
we're in the middle of the meeting right
I just wonder, we don't have an agenda, so we don't know when we're allowed to make a comment. I just wondered when we're allowed to make a comment, of any kind.
Well,
We don't have an agenda, you said comments
Meeting
would be.
agenda.
We can make comments sometime, but I didn't know when.
not unless we open it for comments.
Oh, it won't be open at all?
Well, I said not unless we open it for comments. We don't normally,
We don't normally,
no.
and we don't normally have an agenda. Why? That's what I asked for, can we have a copy of an agenda? We sit at this meeting going, we don't know what you guys, we're on number 8, we're on number 6.
Yeah, last meeting that we were at, you said, here's the agenda, we're gonna start at item number 8. What are 1 through 7?
We just don't know.
We don't know.
Okay.
What, we
That
skipped.
okay, what was skipped was the approval of the minutes, the fiscal officer telling all that correspondence. That was so that you guys, we could get straight to the
We
point
appreciate
and
that.
then you could leave,
We
so.
appreciate that. I just didn't know if we were gonna be allowed to have a comment tonight. And it was, can we have an agenda?
Yeah, so, We'll always do that at the end, unless, is it something about what we've discussed so far?
Can we have an agenda at the meeting? Everybody wonders why we don't, I think it's hard to follow in a meeting without an agenda.
Pam,
I'd
did
like
you used to
one
post
together.
those on the front door at the meeting?
No.
I thought you did.
At one
Well, they
time,
may have it
Bob
a
and
long
Barb were
time
gonna
ago.
try to get it, that's
Yeah.
how long ago, and it's
Yeah.
just hard to follow
Yeah.
without an agenda, I think.
We will give that consideration.
Thank you, thank you.
Trustee Johnson?
For the,
Oh, we're back to there?
Yeah.
Okay, yes, I agree.
Trustee Hudson?
yes.
Trustee Teeter?
Yes.
Thank you, Steve, for bringing us back on track. Forgot where we were at.
May I ask a question on that? No. Is that in the meeting, right? Just curious if my grandmother's fund was included in that.
Yours is the only one I know whose it is.
Okay.
So one of
it
them
is in there?
Yes.
Okay.
If you didn't tell me, I wouldn't even know that. Otherwise, I have just those last names, and most of the last names are very popular names in Pierpont, so it doesn't really narrow it down. So I rely on Barb knowing who those are.
Okay. All right.
That's it. Yeah.
Road department?
We were working on cane scrambling from Sunday's rain. We had a lot of washouts there by Penn Line Road, fixing that. Bill is. He had 2 ditches fill up with just road debris and leaves and sticks. He had to dig up there on Turner, right there at Penn Line. And the other thing is we're working on Adam. Are you about ready for your rhino?
We're getting close. Yeah, we're getting close.
And that's what we're waiting to go see when he sprays his road. It's supposed to work pretty good. The research he did, it's called Rhino, to do Cane Road. It's only not, I didn't want to say it's not. It's like a car. And it's supposed to be 9,000 at a mile.
Right, it's like a glue.
Like a glue and hold it down. It's supposed to be pretty close, like we could chip and seal. We're like, we did Suco on the other roads, and that's almost $40-some thousand to do about, what was it? 4,300 feet or something?
Something like that.
And I wanted to try it, see what it looks like on Adams before we agree on it, and try it on Cane Road to try to save money. Then we could do more instead of spending $48,000 for one section. If we could get a mile with it, $9,000, we could do 4 or 5 miles a year instead of just spending for 4,300 feet like we did the other years.
And they'll be able to plow it.
Yes, yes, yes.
Adam, do you think you'll have yours down in time for us to make a decision before winter season comes?
I would assume so, yes. We're just waiting on some funding because our second half money hasn't come in yet.
Okay, so as soon as you do, I mean, because that's something we want to roll into pretty quickly.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because this is the time of year to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
Like he says it's good, what is it, like a couple hours after we spray it? They said
It cures as fast as water evaporates, so very quickly. But like I said, we're committed in Trumbull Township to work with all the other townships and, our equipment and everything, just to kind of help out and we all help each other, so.
I have a question. I was considering the road. Since we're talking, are we allowed?
Does it have to do with?
The current topic you guys
dust
are talking
control?
about. Yeah.
Okay.
I was curious, your road, Mr. Teeter from Route 6 to his house, hear me out. That was the first road paved, correct? How is that holding up and what was the cost per mile on that?
I don't truly know on the first one because I was not a trustee at that time.
I was just curious comparing to.
You brought this up many other meetings before, saying it was
And
shady with me,
That's not-
and that was before I was a trustee.
That's a test pad.
It's like $20-some thousand the last time.
I'm curious on the construction and how that was done compared to what you're bringing up with 9,000.
This is, and it's really.
Is it holding up with heavy truck traffic?
It's a totally different
We're
subject, really.
We're paving roads.
But
We're
that
chip
is-
and sealing, we're chip and sealing, not paving. Paving and chip and sealing are different.
Dust control.
Well, that's what that was for.
No,
was
it
the-
wasn't.
What was that for then?
Jamie, you've been in here many times and we have answered those questions.
I never
many
really got an
times.
answer. What was it
Well,
for?
you just didn't like the answers.
What was the
that
answer?
you
May
got.
the public hear it again. Could you
Jamie?
repeat the answer to the public?
The other two
Jamie,
trustees.
I won't, sorry, because it is.
I want to answer.
I was
that.
curious on how it's holding up the heavy truck
Before
traffic,
I was-
because if it's working there, wouldn't we repeat it on another road?
Yes, it is
For
working.
40-some thousand versus 9,000?
Okay, so at 40,000 was what was the distance did that cover? Was it a mile?
Right, it
Not
was
quite.
close to 4,000 feet.
Was that?
We tile 3,300 and some.
Alright.
When I bought as a resident and put in
Well, I'm not
and
at-
hold
I'm
no, you were saying that seeing if it's taxpayer. Before I was a trustee, I came to the trustees and asked them what could we do to improve the road because I live on there and I have a truck.
Oh, so it's for you, it wasn't a test patch.
No. And they said, what are you willing to bring to the
I
table?
thought that was a test patch, I was just comparing it if it were.
No,
That's
you didn't
it.
make, the
That's
other
it.
trustees said it would be a test by, so let's try to tile what other townships did way back in the day.
So if it's working, wouldn't we duplicate that on other roads?
We are. We did Kane Road. We did Turner Road.
So why are we doing the 9,000 then?
Because this is some different product that may be better, we have to give it a try. And it's a lot less cost.
I said that when I asked Adam. Am I right, Adam?
You are, yes.
Where we could save money and do more in the town.
I'm just wondering, there's 80,000 pounds coming across there, if it's holding up to your truck traffic, it should hold up to cars, that's what my concern was.
That's why we're doing it.
So wouldn't we spend that on the larger amount then?
What do you mean? She said the same thing. What are you trying to get to?
I think this discussion needs to.
My question is there certain areas where you're gonna spend the higher amount on roads, or are you just doing certain areas?
We're gonna try this new product and see how it works. If this new product works at a lower cost for the community, then that's what we're
For
gonna do.
Jeff, for where the majority of the people live, is that where you're gonna do it for?
We're gonna do it on the roads we have prep for it right now and see how it works out.
Okay, that discussion is over. Okay.
Road departments. That's all I have.
That's
And
all
thank
you
you,
have.
Adam.
Okay.
Will you please let me know when you,
I will do that.
me and the
Be
road guy
first
can come
to know.
down?
You guys will be the first.
Thank you.
Okay, and zoning isn't here, and I don't know if he has anything new. Cemetery, we've got, I think, we have the ground gate, situation taken care of. And they're back.
What'd you do, drown them?
I didn't do anything, Bill did it.
Well, I'm saying Sunday, we got enough rain to drown them.
Yeah, okay. And at this point, Mr. Cameron, would you like to?
Thank you for the introduction here, Dan. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Cameron Wright. I've given you trustees a folder with a proposal that my sister and I have been working on, and I'm not going to get into a lot of detail because it's all there. But this outline is that almost 2 years ago, my mother passed away, and my sister and I were discussing what we should do for memorials for her. What we did is we established a fund with the Pierpont Community Action Committee to collect funds to build a new pavilion at the cemetery. So we've been doing a lot of talking and thinking about it, and we believe we're to the point here where we would like to start moving forward with it. We've looked at a number of different designs. We were looking for something that would be very durable, long-lasting, relatively vandal-proof, and multi-purpose, and it would not require a huge amount of maintenance. What we've kind of liked so far is a kind of a post and beam construction, like you've seen some of these pavilions out by pools and different, actually there's a few of them here in the township that are out by ponds and stuff. They're quite nice. There's a company over in Springboro, not too far from where I live, that manufactures them. I've been to their plant. I found them quite interesting. we're looking at approximate size of 24 by 32, which would give a coverage area of 27 by 36. I guess what I want to say here is that we just would like to start, this is not a final proposal. What we would like to ask the township is to appoint my sister and myself to look into this and come together with costs and how we could do it and what it would do and what the responsibilities would be, and ask for your approval to do it. We are looking to totally fund the project ourselves. It will cost the township nothing, either through donations or family funds. In your handout, I've given you a booklet, pamphlet from Endure Structures, the company we're talking to, the Vista unit, which is on page, actually it's the second one in, second page, is the unit we're looking at right now. We've had a quote on a 24 by 36 unit for that structure of $42,885. The next item I've included is a location map of the cemetery. We're suggesting it be located immediately south of the sexton's maintenance shed, right at the tip of the curve of the driveway there. I've been down, I've staked it, I've measured it, I did an aerial off of the auditor's GIS site to get it placed in there. We've also talked about it being multi-seasonal. We aren't including this in our project, but I did some research and found out that there are a number of companies that make clear panels or clear plastic inserts that would hang like tar cones that are totally clear. You know, they don't obstruct any view, so it can even be used for those people who wish to have the funeral services all at graveside, or, you know, I'll take JP off, but, you know, don't go to the funeral home, we'll just do it down at the cemetery. I'll cut right in there, twisting that thing. So, and the last thing I included in there was a sample resolution. No means I am not pushing you into anything, but I thought that pretty much spells out what we would like the township to go forward with my sister and myself. So I kept that as quick as I could do it.
Yeah.
Any quick questions?
Well, I'd like to maybe suggest 2 or 3 more people to visit with you. And it's just time without seeing the rest of the cemetery. I'm not really excited about the orientation for where this is located. I would like to look.
I was originally, when I staked it the first time, I had it going the long ways parallel to the driveway. And my only problem with that was when I visualized the building, I said, well, you're not going to see the nice beamwork that's on the ends of the structure. And I thought it would be nice to turn it. I don't have a problem with it going the other direction, if that's something you would want.
Yeah, I don't know.
I've also seen some structures that have had permanent walls put in, like on the north side and the west side, and they look quite nice. My suggestion was if we get this all put together and go through with it, is that we live with it for a year or so and see maybe what kind of alterations we want to make to it.
Isn't that been filled, that area, isn't that was a low spot that was filled in?
Oh, that's been filled for years and years.
Years and years, yeah.
And that's the area where we can't bury it, can't sell any plots there, right?
Yeah.
You may have to go pretty deep to get something solid, that's what I'm getting at.
Oh, I don't know. Where he has this is further away from where most of that took place. Most of that was closer to the.
We have to, you know, Bill Hoffman came in and tiled that a number of years ago, so we have to be a little careful where his tile lines are.
I know they had a water problem in there for a while too.
Well, that's why they tiled it.
So I do agree that this is a good time to investigate.
Yeah, I do too.
And I feel that Cameron's put in the effort already.
Yeah.
So I think we should draft a resolution next meeting to
Yeah.
possibly
Like that,
approve.
and maybe have a couple of people that I can talk to you about to see how you feel about their input.
So we'll put it in our meeting minutes next month.
Yeah, we'll do a resolution next meeting.
Okay, that's fine. Yes, I didn't expect anything tonight. I'm just presenting it. You need to look it over and digest it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think it's a good idea, because the carport we have there now, what they put up.
Well, it's in there, I didn't say it. My mother lamented for years because we have an enormous amount of family in that cemetery.
A bunch of people complain about
Yeah,
it.
and she says, why do we have to be under this thing?
Yeah, but
It's better than the
it was
choice before.
better than the other choice.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
JD, is it better than previously?
Is it, well, I'll just speak for me. I'll just speak for me. I don't know what was there previously, but I'll just say that I always prefer to be right at the graveside. I never really liked any of the cemeteries requiring you to have your committal services away from where the burial is.
Well, I agree with
Me
you.
personally, that's what my preference would be, but obviously we're respectful of the policies and procedures at each cemetery, and sometimes there's legitimate reasons why that's more feasible to do a common committal area.
Most of our, has been from, in the past, having a graveside, depending on the weather and stuff, it caves. So you don't want to cave.
Like I said, there may be reasons to not do that, so.
The funeral directors used to set up a tent.
We always,
Graveside.
we always will provide a tent if the family chooses to
But
have a
I
tent.
remember my grandmother Redmond's funeral, we all grabbed up and hung on to it because one of our famous thunderstorms in Pierpont came through,
That can
and it was
happen.
gonna go flying.
And there's a fee, that's associated with that, so again, that's sometimes an expense the family doesn't want to incur, or they're not able to incur, so.
Next thing on the agenda was unfinished business,
In the house tear down?
yes, sir.
So, the land bank sent us paper, to fill out for an application. They made notification to me and Steve that they've received it. We're just waiting to follow the next step.
We'll get back with us on that.
Yeah, they said in June they may have some money left over. It's August, they probably figuring out what they got left, and plus they're gonna add some new projects this year. Hopefully we'll be on that project.
Thank you.
All right. And,
I had some other new business too.
we're an old business.
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah, that's
Yeah,
new
new
business.
business, okay, new business. Go ahead.
Okay, so new business actually pertains to the next one down, it says newsletter service. I had, one of our residents that can't really, leave her home and come to meetings and things like that, but she does have people that go back to her and tell her what's going on. But like when we had our meeting, over at the, fire department building, she would have liked to see a mailing to all Pierpont residents, even like a postcard. Is that something that we could possibly do?
Well, we could do it, I think we could still do a newsletter that would go out maybe quarterly or something
And
like
we
that.
go out
like
and mail
we
to
had.
all Pierpont
Yes.
residents?
Yes.
Okay, she was suggesting just a postcard or something special come up that we drop in the mail, that way all our residents can go. So that was a new business, and that, like I said, that's why I brought it up, because of the news about it. So if we could get that rolling, I think that would help too.
Okay.
And just so hopefully we have enough headway before something comes up to put it in the newsletter.
Yeah.
Okay. That's all I have.
Okay. Yes. All right. Bookmobile still comes every third Wednesday, 3:45 to 4:45. Farmers market is Saturdays, 8 to noon.
Blood drive Thursday.
Oh, is it this Thursday?
This Thursday, the sign's already out, and I got my notification, so.
Okay, all right. Anybody want